Hey everybody, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett here, and we are getting stoked at the Colorado Convention Center for this year's Outdoor Retailer Summer Market. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Mayor's Table. I'm Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett here at the Colorado Convention Center for this year's Outdoor Summer Retailers Market. With me are two of the guests who came down, two of our community members who came down from Farmington, and we have a total of 17 people actually who are representing business, representing the Chamber of Commerce, representing just individuals who are engaged civically within our community, all coming up here to tout Farmington and get us in front of retailers and really just in general the outdoor industry. So with me today I have the CVB Director, Tanya Stinson. Thanks for being here.
Yes. It's fun week.
Absolutely. And our Economic Development Director, Warren Unsecker. Welcome, Warren.
Thank you.
Warren, you've been working really hard at this.
Yes, this and working hard at something that is amazingly fun. I mean, this is a great opportunity for our community, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Well, outdoor recreation is, of course, one of the initiatives that we have that we're trying to build sustainability into Farmington and surrounding areas. And sustainability is kind of a key word here within this group. And when they're talking about conserving energy and water and finding new ways to manufacture goods and clothes and all those things, sustainability is a key word. I use sustainability in the sense that we're trying to find a way to sustain human life and jobs in the four corners. And outdoor recreation seems to be really, in my mind, the low-hanging fruit, an area that we already have the infrastructure built in, we already have the natural assets that people want to come and visit. We just need to tell them about it, we got to get them there, and we got to show companies how we can align ourselves kind of with their mission and their vision. So I know you have spent a lot of time, I'll start with you, Warren, you've been spending a lot of time getting in front of businesses, talking to them. How has that gone? What have you been talking to them about?
People are really excited about what we're doing. They see the vision, they see what we have in mind for the community, and they're excited about the fact that we're putting so much effort and time and energy into this. And I think they can conceptualize how they could be a part of that. And so we're excited to be able to share that with these communities. We're building relationships, and we're hopefully planting the seed that as these businesses expand in the communities that they're in right now, if they outstrip their capacities, they look to us as the next great place to start their business or expand their business.
We got low cost.
Absolutely.
Cost of living's low cost. Utilities are low cost.
Space is low cost.
Space is low cost. I mean, there's a lot of benefit, and you're in an environment where you're surrounded by outdoor recreation enthusiasts.
It's exactly
and low competition right now, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting on the ground floor.
Well, I've used this thought, too. It's interesting. I mean, the way we've seen kind of outdoor recreation explode in places like Colorado, to me, I think it puts New Mexico primed as that next great adventure, the next great place for people to go.
Absolutely.
And I've heard some of that reiterated while we've been here this week.
Yeah.
And Tanya, you deal with the tourism side, and in your job, you're trying to get heads in beds. And you mentioned earlier you're trying to extend people's stay in our community as well as having more stays, correct?
Repeat visits, longer visits, more things to do in Farmington. We always talk about the base camp and the day trips, which is fantastic, that our location is prime for that. We want to give them more to do in Farmington.
Right. I had a great conversation yesterday. You might have met the gentleman talking about river surfing.
Yeah.
And so we're finding this new niche where they'll be able to put a wave in a river that can be surfed, and it could be a place where kids on inner tubes could be going up and down and make a nice little river park out of that. I thought that was something that would fit perfectly within what we have with our river. They said it works in high or low flows, so but you learn a lot.
Definitely.
And certainly to the degree that Jim and Marianne, who've been working with us as our consultants, they're here with us, and they've talked a lot about $997 billion outdoor recreation industry. And I think the first time they made that presentation to us, I was sitting there going, really? Well, there's more jobs in outdoor recreation than there are in oil and gas.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
We're in our silo, we're in our part of the world, and that's what drives us. But how can it be bigger than those things? It's energy, right?
Yeah.
Well, then you walk into a place like this and you see all the companies that are represented that are considered outdoor recreation, and then you get a real sense and understanding of what it means. So we're just trying to get a piece of that pie.
You bet.
How do we become an attractive place and fill the gaps so that these companies see us as the next destination for them, see us as a place to expand, see us as a place to bring their family. But I think what I've gotten out too, even today's session, is how much positive feedback we've received just for being here. And
we made a
representing.
great presence. Our team was seen and people were impressed. And I noticed just as walking by, sometimes people don't make eye contact and they keep walking, but then they say, what are you selling? And we say, we're selling our community. And then the conversation just opens up and flows very easily. And they're really interested in what we're doing.
They have a lot of workshops and breakouts, and one of the ones that they had yesterday was in regards to storytelling. And Farmington's a unique story to tell. We took time this morning to go into the press room, Jim and I, and we talked to the writers who were in there and said, check out our story. You know, here is a small community in northwest New Mexico that has seen the contraction of the energy industry. It has all this beautiful land that surrounds it, public lands, and they're trying to capitalize on it and create a life for sustainability. And it was great because immediately a reporter jumped up and came over and she said, hey, I've been paying attention to what's going on in Santa Fe. I've heard what you guys are doing. And then later on, somebody came up and like, hey man, they talk about you guys all the time. We can't believe what a great job you're doing. So I've made this comment before that you have to believe the hype.
You do.
When you hear people say good things, in my life's experience, you need to capitalize on that and not just let it die off. And I think the 17 people who showed up from our community, they get that and they wanted to say, here we are, check us out. So I want to make sure we talk a little, I want to make sure I mention all the people who came up here. Dale and Rhonda Davis from 505 Cycles came
Great
up.
local business.
Yep, great local business. John and Dorothy McNeil. So Dr. McNeil and his wife.
Great ambassadors for our community. They brought energy for us.
Dorothy is just dynamite.
She's a salesman, isn't she?
I've been in front of, she just telling me how many businesses she's been in front of and telling them where Farmington is, and we just need a map. We need a map to show exactly where it's at.
She's on it.
So they were fantastic. Jamie Church, our director of the Chamber of Commerce, Roman McCabe with the college, their outdoor recreation component, Shauna Reeves, the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Farmington, Rob Mays, our city manager, was here with his wife Carol. Mike Stark, county manager, was here for 2 days. And we had Georgette and Greg Allen, of course, doing what they do and such a fantastic job. And then Jim and Marianne from our consultants. So I just want to thank those folks and make sure we pointed out that they took a week out of their,
it was a big
out of their
effort.
life,
It really
right,
was.
to come up here. And I think we're going to find that there will be some fruit that's born from this.
Absolutely.
Warren, what other things do you feel are important for us to make sure our community knows what we're up here doing?
We made a big impression. We showed that we're serious about trying to make this a driver in our community. And I think people are ready to catch that vision. And so we just need to keep pressing hard on these businesses to help them understand that we're going to be pushing behind them. We're going to be helping them find the resources that we have. I know the college has made themselves available with a lot of great resources for these businesses, especially entrepreneurs.
Right.
There's a whole level of this thing.
We want them to get started well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, a whole level of this conference is people just getting started with their products that have had Kickstarters and GoFundMes and Indiegogos. And so they're hungry for that opportunity, and so we can provide them with resources they may not be able to find in other places with things like the maker space that the college just installed, the incubator, the food hub. You know, that's something too that we found very quickly, that food is a part of the outdoors too. So there's opportunities for all of our agricultural.
So many energy bars.
Yeah,
so many
absolutely.
energy bars.
Who knew there's so many types, huh?
Right, and so many located just in Colorado alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mayor, I want to thank you for coming, because I know it made a huge impression when we would say our mayor's here, our city manager's here, our county manager's here, and they were so impressed by that.
Yeah.
We said, well, we're serious. This is a commitment for our community. This is how serious we are.
You know, I think that, and just kind of reflecting on what you guys are talking about, it's a community effort. And so, you know, we're here as ambassadors, but the things that we do at home are what's going to resonate when those people come to town.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of little things that we may get frustrated with. As everybody in every city gets frustrated with. It could be litter, it could be a bunch of different things. But it takes a little bit of hard work on each individual, having to do maybe more than just what they can do for themselves in order to bring everybody up, in order to raise the tide so all boats float. I mean, it's going to take all of us working in that capacity and that mindset, and instead of pointing fingers and blaming and being upset about it, doing something about it in a very constructive and positive way. And that's what I like to see about these 17 people are just a small population of the greater
Right.
good of people in Farmington who are excited about what we're trying to do and want to see this thing happen for
Absolutely.
us. Which, by the way, I mean, we're sitting in the New Mexico partnership kind of a booth. It's a co-op
Yeah,
booth. There's
yeah.
Ratona's recognized here, Las Cruces, Tucumcari, Farmington, and to have so many people who walk by who said, "Hey, I used to live in New Mexico,
Yeah.
and what are you guys doing in Farmington?" And they're blown away
Yeah,
because that's not
absolutely.
something that they were thinking of before.
Right.
Wow, that's great that you guys are doing that. It's incredible. We need to come back down. How many people said we need to come to your town?
Right, because they say I've been to Farmington 25 years ago.
Right.
Right.
It's a little bit
Absolutely.
different now.
Just a touch. Yeah.
Well, you see the backdrop behind us. We have one of the pictures out of the Bisti, and I was speaking to a lady here yesterday. We had a little happy hour social that we hosted yesterday afternoon, and she goes, "Well, that picture's from Moab." And I said, "No, it's not from Moab." And
Fascinating.
let me show you some other pictures. And
Let's tell you the real story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so being quick with information, I mean, I pull my phone out and I'm, check out these other pictures and see what else is going on and the investment we put into the lake and the investments that's going into the river trails. And this is really an outdoor lover's paradise. This is who we are. And I definitely want to share this. I mean, this is a great pamphlet was put together by Corey Styron and Warren and Jim. But it's a great way for us to communicate to the outside world to say, look how beautiful our city is. This is why our quality of life here is higher in Northwest New Mexico than you'll find in other places, and you belong there.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I know I've said it before, but we've come a long way from the inception of the brand to the outdoor study to here we are today building and looking for these businesses. We know that there's times that people are uncertain about, but there's exciting times, and, and this is the culmination of that. And everyone's committed to making sure it happens.
Well, they're saying a downturn is the best time to buy, right? Because prices are low.
Right.
And I think that speaks to us because we've not really recovered from that 2009 recession, and we're not seeing the boom come back from the bus, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we know it's going to be less in the oil and gas area, and we're fighting for some jobs as well as the earth, with what we're trying to do with carbon sequestration at our power plants. And but now's the time to buy in.
Right, absolutely.
Now is the time to buy in, and that's my feeling on it. So, anything else, Tanya, from the tourism realm, things that maybe you've learned?
Well, a lot of great conversations, a lot of interesting potential partnerships out there. I'm grateful for the people that came because we know we were invested in the beginning because we wanted to build up our tourism assets, and it was just nice that there's other components with the light manufacturing, the agriculture. There's so much here. So we know that we'll benefit, but it's even better that the community on a whole is going to benefit in a greater way.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a big component of workforce development too, is making a space, a sense of place and placemaking, I think is the term you use, Mayor, that brings new people into the community, that they want to be there. And oftentimes they'll come and to figure out what they're going to work at later if they have a compelling argument like this to bring them into the community.
And we have spoken to people this week about just they're looking for a place to relocate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if they bring their business with them, even better, right?
Exactly right, yeah. So that's really the end goal, is to get people so excited about it, they just want to come be a part of the action, a part of the excitement that we're creating in the community. So
It's a unique story.
it really is.
And there's nobody else here telling the story the way that we're trying to tell it. And we had another gentleman from the state just came by a second ago, and he goes, "Man, you guys, you're doing it right." And
organized.
The state outdoor recreation department, which is fixing to be solidified, they're going to pick a director. He made the statement that they would like to come to Farmington to kick that off.
Absolutely.
Because we've set the stage and we're leading from the front. So that's a great compliment to you and the work that you've done and put into this and leading us in this direction. It's an exciting thing, but it's nothing concrete. There's nothing done yet. The work is really just beginning.
We're just starting.
Really
We're just starting. Yep.
And I know there's been questions about, well, is there any companies that are for sure said that they want to come? Well, look, we're planting a farm right now.
Yeah.
The seeds are going in the ground, and you've got a stack of follow-up cards and information to reach back out to these businesses and these people, and that's watering that, and that's putting nutrients into that ground. And so I believe we'll get something out of this, and I think we need to be back here next year.
Oh, hands down.
And I think the positive reception we see so far next year would even be twice as much, because they'll see we're serious.
Right.
And it wasn't just a one-off that we got to come there one time. We brought an army of people to come and wave the flag, and it's very impressive. I'm very thankful for both of your efforts this week.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Anything else you want to add before we close out this episode?
No, I think that it's time for Farmington citizens to get excited about this too.
Yes, definitely.
start thinking about how they can be a part of this adventure that we're setting off on.
And if it's okay, I mean, these are the things we talk about in our monthly Farmington Branding Alliance action teams.
Absolutely.
So
We have an active group.
every
of people
month
over
there's an
there.
active group, and anybody is welcome to participate in that. And these are the
Exactly right.
types of things we talk about.
Well, getting Southern Colorado engaged in that too. I mean, Durango and Cortez and those places that we share so much of the economy in that area. It should be exciting for them to see this also, because we're all in this together. A job in Farmington is shopping in Durango, and a job in Durango is shopping in Farmington, and vice versa. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for this week, and it was a lot of work on our team's part, but it's going to be worth it.
It's all worth it, definitely.
Well, thank you for joining us on today's Mayor's Table. We hope you've learned a little bit about what our efforts are and as ambassadors for our community, how we're trying to spread the word and the good news of the things that are happening inside of our city. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time right here on the Mayor's Table.